Oh, can I tell you how excited I got Thursday the 27th of June? The notification came on my phone, email from Kunos. Assetto Corsa EVO has its official Steam page. Now, being a seasoned sim racer, being a seasoned gamer, hell, being a senior citizen almost, you'd think that by now I wouldn't get excited about any pre-launch, pre-order hype, especially after we've all been burnt in the past by games over-promising and under-delivering. Before I go on, as always, if you wouldn't mind liking, sharing and subscribing, I'd appreciate it. And in the comments, let me know, are you excited about the VR support, or do you think it's another false dawn? Whether it was the launch trailer that whet our appetite, or the years of disappointment from titles that have come out over the past few years, we'll talk about them in a minute, or whether it's just the fact that we have been waiting for the successor to Assetto Corsa for a decade. And to get an official, it is definitely, now I know we shouldn't count our chickens until we see them hatch, but to see even a glimmer of optimism, a light at the end of the tunnel, that yes, Kunos are this much closer to giving us what we've been looking for. So let's dig into it. If you're watching this channel, you're probably a VR enthusiast just like me. And being a VR enthusiast, we know that we're a niche within the niche of sim racing when it comes to AAA gaming. So to hear that, okay, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud because again, so many titles promise and then don't deliver. But to hear that Kunos have every intention of launching Assetto Corsa EVO with VR support day one, that got my attention. What also got my attention were the system requirements. And whilst they don't look completely and utterly eye-watering, they do hint that some gamers are possibly going to have to update some of their equipment if they want to enjoy the visual splendor that it looks like we're going to get with Assetto Corsa EVO. And if you head on over to the community page, you'll see straight out the gate, we're not happy. We don't know anything yet. We have no idea what's coming with the game, but we're gonna make our assumptions and we're gonna stamp our feet and we're gonna let Kunos know that we want to be able to enjoy Assetto Corsa EVO in very much the same way that we've enjoyed Assetto Corsa for the past decade. And that has been through the amazing work of the modding community, bringing us DLC, bringing us content manager, bringing us custom shader patches, bringing us PP filters. I mean, what would Assetto Corsa be without Soul and Pure? The game that we see today still goes toe to toe with the AAA titles that came after it. And therein lies the excitement, the anticipation, the wonder. What are we going to get with AC EVO? Because this is the successor to Assetto Corsa. It is not the successor to Assetto Corsa Competizione. Say that 3 times before breakfast. And a little bit more on why I'm so excited about the launch, whilst equally have a measure of trepidation. I got excited for the launch of Le Mans Ultimate, all the hype that came before it. Another officially sanctioned game, it was going to give us the WEC season. And it launched without VR support. Now I know, again, VR is niche and sim racing is niche. So it's the niche of the niche. However, just like titles before it, it meant us VR enthusiasts sat on the sidelines waiting for the VR support to come latterly. And whilst you can put in -OpenVR into the launch properties to get the game to launch in VR just like you can with R-Factor 2, Studio 397 maintain, and they're right to maintain this, that is not the official VR support they intended for the game when they launched it. So it means that for VR enthusiasts like myself, as you know, that's why you're watching this channel, we cannot race the game in online sessions. And looking at the mixed reviews, 432 to date, considering this game came out in 2024, 10 years after Assetto Corsa, where you can use virtual reality and it looks amazing, It is just a crying shame that we cannot enjoy the game, even with its snags, shall we say, because it is only in early access. We can't enjoy the game in all of its splendor in VR. So the hype that came, the excitement that was there at launch, the anticipation to enjoy the game is tempered. And what's the old adage about insanity? Well, when EA Sports announced WRC, again, I got extremely excited to play this game in VR. It was the successor to Dirt Rally 2, and Dirt Rally 2, like this, launched without VR support. So you had to wait for EA to put in the retro patched VR support, which, whilst it was great, it was good, it got you into the game, you could tell that it wasn't there from inception. You could tell that it wasn't what they had originally intended for the game. All you have to do in VR is look over your shoulder and you'll see that there is no back to the car. So when WRC launched, again, no triple support, no VR support, the excitement, the anticipation was tempered. Now with the version 1.8 patch, we have VR support. It is by no means perfect. The game itself is flawed at the moment. There are so many bugs in it that the 219 mostly negative reviews recently, on top of the 6,000 mixed reviews since launch in 2023, well, let's just say, recovering that hype, recovering the community's goodwill, is going to be a steep climb from here on in. And Kunos, they don't escape either, because when they launched Assetto Corsa Competizione, it too came with a lot of hype. It too got me excited. I wishlisted it, I pre-ordered it, and then I sat on the sidelines when it launched without triples or VR support. And the game again had to recover from that. And again, I'm explicitly talking about the VR support. It wasn't just that the game has had to recover from. There are loads of other snags that have come along the way, but I'm focused on VR. That's what this channel's about. That's what my gaming experience is about. And this is where the trepidation, the caution comes with Assetto Corsa EVO. For VR enthusiasts, we have had the benchmark set high. On the back of Project Cars and Project Cars 2, Razer Studios came out with Automobilista and Automobilista 2, and they do VR support right. The UI, the in-game menu, the in-car experience, you can see that VR as a feature was in scope from the very first moment the game was being designed. VR wasn't an additional add-on. It wasn't like a game coming out on PC and then being adapted for cross-platform compatibility. VR was there from inception, and as such, the VR experience, visually, holistically, is sublime. And that's where the anticipation, where the excitement, where a little bit of nervousness comes from. Because Kunos have been able to see that. They've been able to see those games launch. They've been able to see the response and the reaction. And they've had the time and the opportunity to bake into the design of Assetto Corsa EVO from day one, triple support and VR support. And as a community, we are waiting with bated breath to see if Assetto Corsa EVO can pick up the baton from Assetto Corsa, its 10-year-old sibling, and deliver on all expectations. I looked at the Assetto Corsa page again ahead of trying to record this video, and the show reel of videos of screenshots is 28 minutes long. And that's just the official DLC. If you consider all of the different cars and tracks that the modding community have brought to the game over the last 10 years, that rich ecosystem of content is why, as many continue to say to this day, Assetto Corsa is the sim that refuses to die. If Assetto Corsa EVO can follow on the back of that success, if it continues to be an environment where the modding community can build on what the developers give to us on day one, And if on day one they give us VR support that matches, if not beats, the visual clarity and experience we get with Automobilista 2, QNOS will fully and deservedly re-establish itself as #1.